Well, how about that? Knights actually won the quarterly poll, so I'm going to get to work on these as a priority project. How about that? Let's see how far I can get this quarter. It shouldn't be that bad, right? Three more hours of dry brushing, one step closer to an eventual knight's army. To make a little bit more progress here, I decided to just take Canis Rex and his two Warglaive uh, armigers and just work on those for a while. Get these guys done and ready for basing before I do all of the trim and other work on all of the rest. I did start a little bit over there on some of the larger knights, but I think taking the time and getting this core done first might be just a little bit better so that I can do a couple of smaller projects instead of one massive 3,000 plus point knight list all at once. Hold up, I'm going to change my mind on this because I just remembered Canis Rex requires the cockpit and extra weapon options and everything like that to be done. So instead, I'll just go with one of the standard Questoris Knights until I get one done. And then, once I have the small unit, I'll do the Canis. Because I might as well go a little bit easier on myself on my first couple of nights, right? Yeah. So, nice small change of pace, change of plans. I already have the weapon options for this one done anyway. They're magnetized, but they're different than the Canis Rex. So, quick swap over to a different model, but overall, Knights is going to get painted. Well, now that the Imperial Knights Codex is coming out, I should probably finish these, huh? So, this project has been going on way too long, and I have pile after pile after pile for it. And some things are further along than others, and some are even further along than that. And there's certain Questoris Knights that go one way, and others that go in a different way, and then ones that go even a different way. And I don't know. Sometimes I think that the fact that it's 3,000 points of knights all at once might be part of the issue here. I have so many things that I could be working on. It's a decision paralysis. So I really should focus on doing like the rough iron on all of the little guys or something, just so that that step's done. But I don't know. It's one of those things where each day I pull these out to work on, I kind of get stuck. That's why I was originally trying to get 3 done, so I didn't have all of them on the table at once. But as you can see, they're all on the table at once again. Yeah, even looking at some of the basing material. What do I do? And so, after over a dozen hours of painting rough iron, I can finally say I'm done with it. Except, I also still have all of the weapon options to do. So, even after a dozen hours of painting rough iron on these guys, I still have more to do. I like how it's coming out, but it's just so much of the same color. So, I am going to take a break and focus on a different color for a while because it's just so much rough iron. I love the way that it pops from all of the other colors that I've used. It looks good on the metallics. It looks good on the armor panels. But I need to step away from the rough iron for a while. So I think the next step is anything but. So, yeah, perhaps some of the trim work on the armatures next. I don't know. We shall see, but it's not going to be rough iron for the next little while. All right. Hopefully the next progress report has better news. It is Sunday, December 7th, and I have decided that I want to release this video on the 15th. So I have one full week to get these 14 nights completed. It's been years since I started this army, and I've worked on it off and on for the last couple of months, this whole year pretty much. And it's time. We're going to get this done by the 15th. We've gotta. Or else this video is going to be not complete. I'm going to have an army that isn't going to be done if I don't get it done. I still have silver trim to do on the weaponry. I still have the cockpit areas to paint up. I have washes and everything like that to do. I have all of the basing still to go. I have weapon options that are still just primed and haven't actually been anywhere yet. I don't have any of the trim work done on the red on these. I have a lot to go still, but I have 1 week left. So, how does this video end up? We'll find out. So I finally took out the clips that I bought, and they've been helping to get all of the trim work done. So, still need to do a second coat over on these ones, and these ones still need their first coat, but, 3.5 hours of painting, and a quarter of the way done? Yeah. Painting 14 nights all at the same time takes a lot of effort. Let's keep going. Well, it's 2 a.m., and I just spent 6 more hours working on these, but the trim has 2 coats on it. On all of these pieces now. So, tomorrow I can start with a new color. But I'm looking forward to seeing these finished. It's been a lot of work today, but I'm gonna get some rest and start again tomorrow on the next color. Still have a little bit of cleanup to do, but I'm gonna wait until the end to see if I actually need to do that. There's one or two steps that may just hide all of that. So I just laid things out, and it looks like I need to do a few more weapon options to actually have one for each model. So I do have to do a couple of the turrets, and I do have a melt-a-gun to paint up, and this one needs that also, and either a chainsword or another gun. So I do have a few more I have to add to these to have the whole thing, and funny enough, Canis Rex is supposed to have a top panel that is open, and I'm pretty sure I used that on Rolla. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this painted up, primed and painted up in this next couple of days, because that's not going to have a opening now. Yeah, yep, I'm pretty sure it is on Rolla. Yeah. So, if you're doing a kit bash and you're planning on having models for a future project, that aren't actually done yet, maybe wait on those bits before adding them to a different kit bash. Anyway. Well, I was able to spend 2 hours on Monday, and I got all of the bright silver on the armatures. And today, I managed to get 2 hours of work on the remainder of the weapons that I needed to do. And I still have a bit more to go on that. I need to do the rest of these, and then all of the silver on them. But I need to do my stream now, so hopefully I'll have time, because we're going into Wednesday already, and there's still basing to do, and a bunch more aspects still need some detail work, and yeah, they're coming along, but we're getting low on days left. Well, it's time to think about the bases, and I decided that two of these ruined houses would be great for the basing. So I just need to figure out how I'm actually going to build the bases with all of these bits. Alright, I actually think I'm pretty much done painting these, except for a few small bits, and then I just have to assemble them and get them on bases. So, yeah, this has been a long day of painting. Hopefully, I can finish this, because this has been a lot of work. Imperial Knights take a lot to paint. Okay, so I made some bases so that the knights can stand on them. I made sure that they all had functional locations where they can land on the bases. One good thing about magnetizing the legs and the arms separately, or the torso, I can use just the legs to make sure everything works. And now I'm going to go through, because they're not all clear, and I'm going to use some spackling to fill the holes, and then let it dry and get them primed, because this is Thursday and we don't have very much time left to finish these. Yeah. Thursday night, bases are built and primed. I need to let them dry overnight, and then I need to paint them because we're coming up on Friday and there's not much time left. So I might be using my airbrush a little bit for this next step. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. Also, yay! Alright, so I'm using my airbrush today. I put down a coat of Model Air White because I still don't have any inks. I do plan on getting those in the future, but use what you got, right? So I put down a white, and now I'm going to go through with some of the speed paints that I own and pick out several of the colors that I want these to be. There we go. And then I'll get back with you after that. Alright, I have color on the bases. Okay. That is something. I still have to do some texture pastes and tufts, but I think I'm happy with how these look. Because if I take one of these and I placed it down, that's gonna be a nice splash of color. And then I can do on that one. So I think that'll add a lot once I get the tufts and texture paste down. Not a bad use of bolt action buildings and some spackle and my airbrush. And now I just have to do the texture paste and tufts. Oh yeah, we're nearly to the end. It is 9 p.m. on Sunday, and I just finished. I just finished my night army. It has taken so much time. I've spent so many hours working on this thing. But I now have 4 Questoris, 6 Warglaves, and 4 Helvrins, fully painted and based, ready for battle. There are a few aspects that I could see adding to this: an oil wash in the future, maybe a little bit of freehanding on some of the larger panels. But the army is done. I can field Canis Rex. I can field a Crusader. I have all of the weapon arms magnetized so that I can swap them out. I have a spare battle cannon that can be used. But it's done. Sure, there are more weapon options still to be painted, but those are options, not the actual model. That's just to make it so WYSIWYG can exist. But the knights are painted. I don't know how to feel. This has been such a large project, and this last month or so, where I've been pushing to get it done, these models take forever to paint. I know some people on YouTube do 24-hour challenges to get one Questoris done. And I didn't, stay up all night or anything to do so, but I've definitely put many, many hours into this army. But it's done. I have 3,000 points of Imperial Knights painted up and ready to go. And that just feels so wild. Oh, I still have to edit this video for tomorrow release. So I'm going to leave you with a couple of close-up pictures. And I'm going to go edit that video and set it to publish. And I think I'm going to relax the rest of the night after that. I'll catch you next week. Subscribe if you haven't, so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.